Report due into former PM Sir Edward Heath abuse probe. A police report into sexual abuse claims against Sir Edward Heath is expected to be published later. Wiltshire Police launched Operation Conifer 2 years ago after the former Conservative Prime Minister was accused of historical child sex abuse. The BBC understands the investigation has concluded that if Sir Edward were still alive, there would have been sufficient grounds to question him. Sir Edward, who led a Tory government in the 1970s, died in 2005 aged 89. Last year, the Chief Constable of Wiltshire Police, Mike Veal, said his officers had examined a significant number of allegations against Sir Edward Heath from a significant number of people. BBC Home Affairs correspondent Danny Shaw said most of the complainants were male and were children at the time of the alleged abuse. It is understood investigators have discounted some allegations and identified inconsistencies in the accounts of other complainants, our correspondent said. However, detectives believe they have found grounds to suspect the late Prime Minister of an offence in about 6 cases for which he would probably have been interviewed under police caution if he were alive, he added. As part of the £1.3 million investigation, 2 people were arrested and released. There have been no charges. Ahead of the closure report's publication, Sir Edward's godson said he believed the investigation was flawed and called for an inquiry into the police's handling of the abuse claims. Lincoln Seligman, who knew Sir Edward for 50 years, said, "My suspicion is that we will learn nothing from the report except innuendo and that really takes nobody any further forward, except it leaves a dark stain over a man who can't defend himself." Other friends of Sir Edward's have also criticized the investigation, and a psychologist who advised detectives claimed it was based on the allegations of a handful of fantasists. One of Sir Edward's closest advisors told the BBC that the former Conservative leader was completely asexual. Lord Armstrong of Ilminster said he never felt a whiff of sexuality about dead Heath, whether it was in relation to women, men or children. Who was dead Heath? 1950, Heath becomes Conservative MP for Bexley in South East London, a seat he will represent for 50 years. 1965, he takes over as Conservative Party leader, the first in modern times who is not from an upper-class background. 1970, Heath defies expectations to beat his great rival, Labour's Harold Wilson, in a general election. 1973, he fulfills his long-held ambition of taking Britain into the European Community. 1974, Heath calls a general election, which results in a hung parliament, with Labour's Wilson winning a majority in a second election later that year. 1975, Margaret Thatcher ousts Heath as party leader, a betrayal he never forgives her for. 1990, Heath comes face to face with Saddam Hussein to get British hostages released during the Gulf War.